Hi there. I just wanted to make a quick video. I realized that it's been 2 months since I made my first one, and my usual process is I am doing so many things at once that it's hard to organize myself into making sure that things are getting done with all the things I'm doing. So I figured I would just put this here as a way to just prove to myself that I'm still making stuff for YouTube and I have not just gotten bored with it, even though I am just 2 months out from making like a really short introduction one. Yeah, I'm working on one about not being afraid to make things, not being afraid to make mistakes, and just roll with the punches. And in order to make that video, I need to practice what I preach. So I'm just gonna be okay with this sort of quick, unscripted little thing, though I am making something more polished down the line. But while I'm here, I was just thinking to myself in the car as I was driving back home, for any artists out there who may or may not watch this, I just wanted to tell you that not only should you make sure you're not being afraid to share the things you love making, but I think also what would help is also something I need to work on, is to practice drawing things you don't normally draw. So for years, my whole life basically, I've just been interested in drawing, fantasy characters with different weapons, armor, just really character-focused stuff. Whereas in the last 3 years, actually having started my own comic book that you can see probably on the screen right now, which requires a lot of landscape and environmental stuff. And for so long, I just had not been drawing landscapes. I was just so focused on character design that I wasn't practicing drawing anything else. So I would just urge anyone who's not necessarily stuck, but like just more likely to keep drawing the same thing, really force yourself to draw things you don't normally draw, different things, things that challenge you, things with perspective, environments maybe in your real life, or just random pictures on like the internet. Just draw things that you A, don't draw, or B, want to get better at drawing. And obviously you just have to kind of live with the fact that you're gonna suck at first, because you don't draw it. So I think it's fun actually to document, where you started versus where you've come. So that's why I don't ever want to go back and retroactively change art for my stuff, because it'll be cool to juxtapose, what it looked like when I started it, and a year later it'll probably look a lot better. So yeah, I'm gonna be making more stuff regarding this comic book here. It's called That Which Remains. It's a post-apocalypse fantasy, dark fantasy I suppose, about a lone soldier after a horrific war, as he tries to survive a landscape riddled with decay, aggressive survivors, and mutant creatures from other dimensions. Its main inspirations, I would say, are Berserk, Samurai Jack, Primal, mostly. Very silent show, story driven, but they're not dialogue heavy a lot. Like there's a lot of storytelling with just emotions and expressions and actions. But in the end, I do intend for it to be pretty emotional. It's actually a lot about like isolation and community, and how we need that more than anything. And the powers that be governments and just evil people just want to keep us apart and isolate us. So we've been basically trained to not be human, and basically to just be tools. So it grapples with that a lot later on. But for the most part, at least early on, it really was just a way for me to practice drawing in comic form, because I've always wanted to make comics, but I haven't made much more than concepts, and this is my first attempt at committing to a series that I'm gonna just make myself. Whereas also for quite a few years now, I've been making another comic with a friend of mine, and as I record this video, I finally got back into helping him make it more, because he's the main artist, and I am we're both writing it, but I'm doing the coloring, the shading, and the bubbling, which it took a while to get used to, but like it's really fun to make now. So I'm getting hyper fixated on that, and I don't want to just get bored of it again and move on to something else. I want to make sure I'm giving love to everything I want to work on. My friend's name is Jake. He is a amazing artist, very, very talented. He's also just a great friend, very funny, very silly. He makes my life a lot happier, and I'm glad that I've got him here, just trying to do something with our art. So I'll be sharing a lot more about that stuff in the nearish future. I hope you have a good day. See you next time.